It's episode 345 today, Dr. Julie.
We're talking in sickness and in health.
I'll take you for both. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Prime Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Skip Wyss, and as always, I have my amazing co-host, Dr. Julie Wyss, with us today. It's wonderful to have you here. You look very pretty today.
Thank you.
Your hair is on point.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you are blonde. Love it. Always a beauty. That was kind of funny. I'll let you guys in. Peyton, our daughter, had a concert last week, and amongst the sea of brunettes and brown-haired women was our daughter. The only blonde in that women's choir, and she stood right in the middle on like a little pedestal, and the light was like shining right down on her. It was hilarious. Like she stuck out. Oh, and she looked so pretty. She looked beautiful. She had that little bit of makeup on. She rarely wears makeup, and it was on point. She looked really pretty.
She did.
She's a showstopper like you. No wonder we have our hands full with these boys. So let's talk about in sickness and in health, Dr. Julie. This week is Halloween. It is going to be Sugar Week.
Busy week.
Sugar season is upon us. Sugar season is upon us, just like Yuppie Halloween. Sugar season is upon us. And it starts literally this week. And it will continue through.
If we haven't pre-started with all of the different trunk or treats and fall fest, it could have been the entire month of October.
Well, pumpkin spice came out mid-September.
September. So this is like the sugar triad here, September, but October, November, and December.
Well, he who controls the pumpkin spice controls the white chicks. That's how it works. So it is, you are right though. It is 100% sugar season. And I'm not saying, like, let me just get this disclaimer out right away because we catch a lot of flack from a lot of people that watch this. Sugar isn't necessarily bad for you when it is in moderation in light amounts. I don't care what you say. When you come at me and say you don't know anything about sugar, yes, you should avoid sugar. You should. You don't need it in your diet nonstop. I'm sorry. I don't care what you've read, what research article you've read. It doesn't matter. Moderation of sugar is okay. It's not necessarily super healthy, but you do need sugar in your body to run. You do need glucose. You do need glycogen.
Building blocks.
These are all building blocks and energy sources, and it's what your brain runs off of. Yes, but there's sugar in all different types of fruit, vegetables. There's sugar in carrots. There's sugar in all sorts of things. Plus, there's no sugar or very little in protein, depending on what you eat. But yes, having small amounts in moderation is okay. Large amounts is unhealthy. It's very bad for you.
I was just going to say, like, you brought up meats, and like when I was thinking about like cooking, sometimes even the spices now that we look at, like with blends that I've picked up, I'm like, oh, this one sounds really good. The amount of sugar that's actually in the spices. So the sugar is literally showing up year-round all the time in all of the things that we traditionally wouldn't have had an issue with consuming, that now we have to really look at the labels and understand all the different names for sugar, and that looking at, even if we don't know all the names, looking at how much there's the sugar line, and then there's also added sugars.
There is, and that, like, this is where we'll get flack at this, and you've heard it too, or like they'll say, like, Dr. Skip, like, you shouldn't avoid all sugars. No, but there's just sugar in so much things that having excess sugar on top of it makes it ridiculous. Like when you've got 32 to 45 grams of sugar in a drink from Starbucks, like you don't think of it that way.
First thing in the morning.
First thing in the morning. And same thing with your kids. And let's say you got them something to drink from there. Let's say it's a smoothie. It's not 100% fruit. Like, and even if it was 100% fruit, there's still a bunch of sugar in it. And there is a difference. Like we'll have scientists come on and like we've talked to these people that talk about sugar, and they'll be like, your liver knows no difference between high fructose corn syrup and the sugar in a fruit. Yes, it does. It does know the difference between natural sugars versus synthetic sugars. Your body does handle complex carbohydrates different. Same thing with potatoes. Like if you eat complex potatoes, like potatoes have branched chain sugars in them if they're white potatoes, versus red potatoes, which have straight chain sugars in them. So when your body's coming by and needs sugar, it cleaves off one sugar at a time in a straight line when it's trying to eat it from, like, let's say a red potato. But if you're eating russets and white potatoes, you're going to spike your blood glucose because those sugars look like my fingers. So instead of having one and cleaving one knuckle off at a time, my fingers do this, and this is what sugars look like inside those type of white foods. And then when I want one sugar, I come through and I actually clip off 4 or 5 in one pass when I just need one. And that spikes your blood glucose. So enough about the science behind it in a little bit, but we know what the hell we're talking about here. And it's not ironic that this time of year, cold and flu season sits with sugar season, which sits with people getting chronically sick all the time, and the lack of vitamin D exposure, not putting the right vitamins and supplements in our diet, and honestly not eating the fall harvest like we should, and you didn't eat the summer harvest to build up into the fall, which give you really good vitamin stores, therefore bolstering and getting your immune system high, being in the sun all summer, getting your vitamin D up, like all of these things that help carry you into the fall and into the winter, you have avoided.
Proactive versus being reactive.
Now y'all are reactive, and you're going to head down to Walgreens and get the over-the-counter and try to fix your cold that way, or Sudafed or Tylenol PM. I don't care what it is. And the issue is that you've become toxic, and now you're sugar toxic. And so the question is how do we get around this? How do we help first?
Well, I think it's just to understand that whenever we get sick, that those bacteria, viruses, they feed off of sugar. So that is what keeps them alive. That's what feeds them. That's what grows them. So while it sounds like, oh gosh, I don't want to give them my sugar, well, then you're choosing between being sick or having sugar in your diet. Same thing for your kids.
Yep.
So I think that's like the starter, just to understand that even if we're going to, you're going to choose to consume sugar, you're going to eat that whole bag, maybe we're taking it away from our kids, but the adults, we're going to eat that bag of chocolate, of those sugary things. If we're going to do that, then we also have to be proactive in knowing that, okay, we probably just decreased our immune response. We're going to be more susceptible to getting sick. If we're going to go out to the pumpkin patch and be around other people, right, just other ways for things to get entered, then we need to be proactive in boosting our immune system.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. So let's talk about that right away. So instead of looking at all sugar as this whole thing of trying to avoid it 100%, you're not going to. So now, since we know it's in the diet and it's going to cause some inflammation, what are some things that we can do now to start preventing and or bolstering our immune system? And let's talk kiddos first. So number one is still getting them really good sun exposure, right? Getting them out in the fall. People will say, well, the sun's too far away. I don't care. The sun's out. Go out and get in the sun. Right. Get outside. Get in the nature. Get exposed to some of the allergens that are out there right now. Some of the pollens and the different things that come out in the fall. You can get exposed. There will be things like mold coming from leaves and stuff like that. But
the fresh air, right? That helps to clean and process the lung tissue versus sitting in a
office
bedroom,
environment,
an office, a room, right? Because there's many things in there that are off-gassing. So we're under constant stressors. So if we can be out in nature and getting that fresh air, it's going to beat just being holed up inside your home.
Yeah, and you said off-gassing, which is a big deal. Like, you're in these environments that are constantly changing the air. It's the same, not changing, but it's the same air over and over and over again, recirculating the air, and you're not getting fresh air. And that fresh air is full of all the good stuff that we need. It's full of the little things that float around in our environment that your body needs exposure. This is why when you're outside a lot now and in through the winter, you're not getting sick, because you're exposed to so much stuff. Your immune system is becoming so healthy. And this time of year is a little cooler, which stresses your body, which is actually super important for it. If you want your body to actually get stronger, you need to slightly stress it and cause some destruction to get really good construction. And sometimes getting sick is actually the best thing for you.
It's the repetition. If we're constantly getting sick or we never get over it, then we have some red flags that we need to get addressed.
Those little microdoses of exposure are extremely important for your cell-mediated response in keeping you healthy to fight off these viruses that you're coming in contact all the time. We typically get the question of how come you and Dr. Julie are never sick, or how come you and Dr. Skip are never sick?
We have people that want to cancel their appointment. No, you never cancel your chiropractic appointment. The adjustment is going to physiology. It's going to boost your immune system. It's going to boost your immune response. It's going to be a proactive, booster to your system. But that's where we're adjusted. And so that's never should be the concern of, well, I don't want to get you sick. Well, let us know what it is, right?
Yeah.
That we need to do extra quarantine or extra, cleaning, hygiene, that sort of a thing. But never be afraid of that, because we've already bolstered our immune system. We're going to talk about the things that we do personally and as a family that we stay healthy with. But the adjustment is what is a key foundational aspect.
Well, and consider me selfish, but I kind of like the micro exposure. Right. Like, I don't want to get,
it's not great when we get sneezed in the face
into my eyes, or your child to lick my face. Like these things, or take their little booger fingers and shove them in my mouth, which has happened. Like, I know then I'm like, okay, I got good exposure today. I probably should bulk up on my vitamin C and a few things. And that's what we're going to talk about now, because those little exposures do add up. But now what do we do in case to, like, let's talk about prepping our gut first, because your gut is actually what's going to give you the best immune response is your gut. And actually, the first start of your gut is your mouth and your nose. And you're not actually designed to breathe through your mouth. Like, you remember when you were kids and you like pick on the kid that was like the mouth breather? And you'd hear them like sounding like
a puggy.
I know, but it's because they can't breathe through their nose.
Right.
And that actually, your first line of defense and start of your gut is actually in your nasopharynx. Yep. And that's why you are full of mucus up there. That's why most people have some form of staph in their nose. Don't know that. And you have these things.
It's filters.
What are these?
Filters.
Nose hairs. Yes, nose hairs. And those nose hairs gather particles. And when they slow that down, it comes through and adheres to the mucus and creates ugly boogers. And then those can actually stop your exposure. But then we get down the nasopharynx, past your mouth, get through the oropharynx, and then head down into your esophagus and into your trachea. And then into your trachea, you're going to go into your lungs, right? So now we've got lung exposure, but also that gut is the key. Through the esophagus, through the stomach, duodenum, small intestine, large intestine, out your anus. Like, that's how it works. But we have to bolster that gut up, right? So what would we use?
Ferments are really, really good. Pickles, sauerkraut. But we do have kombucha,
which is fermented tea.
But that's a really great, tasty way to build up your gut. You could take it prophylactically, so a shot or two every day, or just treat yourself to one once a week, just to continue to beef up.
Yeah, some of our patients really like to drink a whole bottle in a sitting, which is okay, but your gut's going to really tell you that you drank a whole bottle. Like, you will be slightly loose, and you're probably going to have a little farty party next day.
Well, and that's where you should.
Yep,
when you don't, then we already know that we have some underlying digestive issues and concerns that also need to be dealt with.
And we've talked about ferments on here. It would be a really good to do like a ferment tutorial, because this is the season when canning season starts.
Yes.
And it's pickling season. And this is the time, though, that you should be eating last year's pickled products that you've already made, and then getting fresh for the next following year to really help your gut out, because your GI runs off of ferments. It actually prefers plant-soluble fiber. It loves fermented foods because it just helps bolster those little bacteria. And those are what you would consider prebiotics, not probiotics. Prebiotics, which feed those things. So this stuff's fantastic. And commonly, too, with kombucha, when it's poorly made, it'll have sugar in it because it's an additive to flavor enhance it. When you have really good products, like this is a product here in Green Bay called Purely Living, made by Mike. And Mike does an amazing job. It's vet-owned, too, which I think is incredible. But very, very low sugar. Like, when you actually talk to somebody that makes this stuff professionally, the sugar is there for the ferment process to feed the yeast. Right. And anytime you're doing a ferment, you have to have some form of sugar to feed the yeast in your body. You have to feed this yeast to feed this and ferment this. But there's very, very little sugar. And actually, there's a little yeast guy right there floating around, that little scope dog, that little booger. And that is actually what makes this product incredible. Good for your gut. And then next thing I would talk about, though, Dr. Julie, I want you to hit on right here. This is Nature's Cough Syrup. This is elderberry syrup. We use Ellicate. fantastic brand here in Northeast Wisconsin, right?
Yep,
Pure, right?
she's local.
Yep, she's incredible. Always keeps us stocked up. And the minute we get these in, they're gone within a week or 2 weeks. In the summer, it was a little quiet, but they'll be flying off the shelves now again because this stuff is nature's cough medicine.
Yeah, I mean, God made the bushes, the trees with the elderberries on them, which, funny, are poisonous if you would just eat them off of the tree that way. So they do need to be boiled. They do need to be cooked to the right temperatures, which then can be turned into drinks, into syrups. And it's a huge, it's a proactive option, but it really boosts the immune system. But when you are sick, to be able to, again, shot glasses, pass that around the table that everybody's getting that to just shorten the amount of time that you're actually sick.
1 ounce. Good stuff. I'm going to read you the ingredients list, and you tell me what you hear and don't hear.
Can you see it?
Filtered water, organic wild-crafted elderberries, raw unfiltered honey, organic rose hips, organic ginger root, organic Ceylon cinnamon, organic star anise or anise, and organic cloves.
There's no sugar in there.
There's the only form of sugar is the raw unfiltered honey, which is actually really good sugar. And that's to add for sweetness, but also notice it's raw unfiltered. So you're getting everything. You're getting everything in that honey. It's not heated. It's not pasteurized. It's not hot pressed. It's not been destroyed. So you get the stuff that's been destroyed. You're just taking it for the sweetness. It's not for the sweetness. It's for the additional health effects. And one of the things that bees have that's in their wax that's really incredible is
Propolis.
Propolis. And propolis
Nobody
is amazing.
Talks about it.
Nobody talks about propolis. And propolis is extremely antiviral and antibactericidal. Propolis works amazing for any type of virus that likes to show up in the form of herpetic lesions. Yes, cold sores. Exactly. So
I'm in your head.
Well, propolis is amazing. And you have to get good propolis. They derive it and pull it out of the beeswax. But propolis is what holds the hive together. And that stuff is like unbreakable. It's insane. Have you ever watched somebody try to get the honeycombs out of a hive? They're in there with hammers and hooks, breaking it apart. That's what bees use. It's the glue that holds everything together, and it keeps everything super, super healthy. So elderberry syrup, nature's cough syrup, incredible stuff. And then I like to talk about this. A lot of parents, when their kids are sick, they want to know immediate help. Congaplex, this stuff is incredible. You can take it as an adult and as a child. Standard process as actually a chewable form of this. But for adults, this is the stuff you take. You can take it PBRN prophylactically and or to like maintenance, but you take it when there's exposure. Like when you feel that cold start to come on. So what are the signs of that?
Well, I was going to say even before that, right? So like a little tickle in your throat. Like we were around 1,000 kiddos this weekend for another fall fest. And last night when I was going to bed, I felt this little tinge, this little tickle in my throat. So I took my Congaplex. I had some elderberry at home, and I took my zinc. And this morning, I'm fine. So it is
the symptom has changed.
The symptom has changed, but I bolstered my immune system.
Yeah, you helped it out. Yeah, and that's, I mean, Congaplex works great for that. Think congestion, Congaplex. They make a product called Allerplex. Think allergies. That's going to help with your GI and help with the IgE, and IgA response. And then they also make something called Immuplex, which I didn't grab a bottle of, but that's actually a multivitamin for your immune system. So that actually puts the glasses on your immune system and helps them look, search, find things. Same thing with like Echinacea. Echinacea is another one. Adds glasses to your immune system to help with better response. It's a big deal. Does it actually bolster or boost? That's a hot word. Boost is a hot word. We're like, you can't say boost. Well, what's another name for it? Bolster, okay. Enhance, all right. Give it glasses? Yes. It allows it to see and become very effective in what it's doing. Is it going to increase the response and make it faster? No, but if it actually gives it the glasses to see what's going on, yes, it will make it faster and more durable. Like that's what happens. So Congaplex, excellent. And then this is one that you actually had a hand in.
Yeah, so this is the children's version. So this is more of a capsule, but we can open that up. We can put that into food or drinks or the chewable option. But then immune is that, being prophylactic, being proactive. This is a chewable version, which also I like that it has elderberry in here, and as well as colostrum.
Colostrum's huge. Colostrum's a hot thing right now. Everybody's talking about colostrum. You'll see it all over. It's on Reels, on Instagram, on TikTok. They're all talking about colostrum and how they derive colostrum from bovine or wherever they got it from. But what is the point? What's the deal with colostrum? Can you just talk about that quick, Dr. Julie?
It is immune. You made it. It's immune boosting, right? So people are familiar with breastfeeding, and it's just like the colostrum from a breastfeeding mom gives the baby the perfect meal every single time. So the amount of antibodies that are in there that is given to the baby. So that's if your baby has sniffles, right? Like breastfeed more often, breastfeed on demand. That is the best way to boost the baby's immune system. If you're breastfeeding, then you mom, because again, babies are going to be wanting to take everything from you. We need to make sure mom then is bolstering the immune system. The vitamin C, the vitamin D, the elderberry, the Congaplex, the zinc, all of those things need to be beefed up in the mom. So then when that colostrum, when that milk goes over to baby, then the baby has that perfect meal.
Yeah, you're the colostrum expert. That's why I'm not asking, because I didn't make it. You did. Thanks for having great boobs.
You're welcome.
Yep. And that colostrum is key to all of it. It's what it is. So you're going to see it now. People have been talking about it for about a year. It's coming out more and more in supplements. Weightlifters take it because they feel it gives them stem cells. Like there's so much good stuff behind colostrum, but find something that's sourced well. And for your babies, if they're sick, like moms, if you froze stuff, use that. If you have somebody in your breastfeeding community that possibly could have some breast milk for you, that you're now done breastfeeding, get a hold of it. You've got a bag of almost 15-year-old colostrum in the freezer.
You never know.
At the house.
Our kids aren't sick.
That is stuff is yellow. That is amber tinged, but that's the good stuff. That's from the first few weeks of
we never know when we might need it.
You never know. You never know. But that's the beauty of it, right? And having colostrum in a product like this that your kids can take, it's going to super help them. As adults, you can take this too. You can chew this up. You would just double it or triple it up. Like you just eat a handful instead of 2 or 3. And then lastly, I don't have it in here, Dr. Julie. We talked about vitamin D. Vitamin D is extremely important. 1,000 to 2,000 international units per child. Adults should be between 5,000 and 6,000 a day. You should be getting it from some exposure. If you're not getting it there, you need to take it orally. Next thing.
But here's the struggle with that, because many moms go into the pediatrician and they say, yeah, just get that. The numbers that is the recommended, the RDA, the recommended daily allowance is the bare minimum, right? So they're just looking at the bare minimums. I don't want to be living bare minimum, with a chance of getting sick. That's why the recommendation needs to be more, because we are bolstering the immune system.
It's kind of funny how when they recommend the bare minimums, it's actually below RDA or it's below what you think you should take. Kind of like there's no profit made in people that are well versus keeping them sick. Interesting conspiracy theory. Kind of funny how that works. Now let's talk about zinc real quick.
Yes.
Zinc is the last thing I want to hit on. Zinc is one of those things that is super important for your immune system. Zinc should also be coupled with iron, should be coupled with copper. Zinc should be taken with magnesium as well. Like you want to be taking these minerals together and these certain vitamins together that are water soluble. They help with transport. Find a zinc that has things in it to help pull it across the cell, and it's not just zinc.
Correct, and that's where we have capsule, tablet form, but then I also have like they taste like sweet tarts.
Those are delicious.
Form for kids as well. So again, understanding that everybody's on their own journey of how, if you're new to supplements, if this is something that you've done, but to have all the options of liquids, chewables, capsules, gummies. That bottom line, we just need to be able to get it in, but it needs to be from really good sources that are bioavailable, meaning not synthetic garbage that you're just taking in, thinking that you're doing good, and then you're just peeing it out.
Exactly, and that's why we like using Standard Process, and we have used Standard Process for almost 2 decades. That's how much we love their products, and in fact, at the bottom of this, we'll just leave a link in the show notes for you right away, like 2 sentences down. It'll be the first thing before your show minutes is where it's, where the chapters are, is right above that. We will have a link to our Standard Process store, so you guys can go and order this stuff for yourselves. Congaplex, Immuplex, Allerplex, Cataplex D, zinc liver, zinc chelate. Like all of these things are there that you can order. And then you have your full script as well that they can go in and order some of the pure encapsulation products we have.
So again, Amazon is not your place for sourcing these items because it's always going to be higher priced. So we have the links. We can give you that discount on there. If you're here local, we have immune bundles that we've already bundled all together for you that you can just happily pick up here within the clinic.
And if you're local too, why not shop local? I mean, you can order it all off Amazon. But guess what? We're a 5-minute car ride, maybe a 10-minute car ride from you, and we probably have it in stock versus you waiting 24 to 48 hours to have it. And plus, you bought from something local, so 80 cents of every dollar is probably returned back into the community somewhere from us. So, all right, everybody, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nope.
Sugar season is upon us. Next month, you're going to love it. November is Men's Health Month. And you didn't know this, but we are going to do 4 episodes on men's health. And we will be talking testicles. We will be talking.
Drop the ball.
We will be. Yep, we're gonna drop the ball on November. See you in November. Take care, everybody. Bye.